Hello and welcome to Law and Order SVU here on Fanversation. I'm Yael Tygiel. That's Taylor Gates. Hello, Taylor Gates.
Hello.
Hi. We're back. We're talking season 27, episode 4, Clickbait. Before we jump in, yes, we're out of order. Yes, we were missing. Yes, we're starting here. This is, again, season 27, episode 4. Before we jump in, if you're in a situation where you need help, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. Taylor Gates, what does that spell?
It spells hope.
It does spell hope. Also, if this is your first time joining us here on the SVU podcast, welcome. You're in for a treat today. Also, weird place to jump in, but whatever. You do you. Consider this your content warning. This episode deals with serious issues and technology, and we on this show like to make jokes and say things, so consider this your content warning. I guarantee I get on a soapbox about AI, and where that takes us, no one knows. All right. The quick cap for this episode: after a teen's near fatal miscarriage, SVU investigates online deceptions to find the culprit, while Rollins considers her professional future. Taylor, what did you think of this episode?
I'm glad they went there, because I was like, surely they're not going to tackle such a new issue that doesn't even have a legal answer yet in the real courts. And it's a tricky one. And I think that it was kind of impressive that they did it and actually tackled those issues pretty starkly and frankly. I thought it was good. I thought it was solid. And felt actually current, which I feel like sometimes SVU feels really behind the times a little bit. And I was like, yeah, this is conversations that are really, really deeply relevant. And I think it hopefully will be interesting in 10 years to look back and be like, that's a time capsule of things that were going on and are much different now, hopefully in a positive way, but who knows. But yeah, I thought it was good.
I agree with you. I think it was a very interesting episode. I agree that they handled it in an interesting way, that they were not shying away from things. I ended up on Reddit somehow, and a lot of people pointed out that it does feel reminiscent of an old school episode, in that they would try to essentially find a way to use the laws that currently exist to handle something that is new. And I agree. I think that it definitely felt like an old school episode, especially because we had our case, got to the halfway point, and dealt with a different issue altogether.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. Doreen in the chat says solid episode. I feel like the season has been so very good so far. I agree. That said, as a reminder, we're only talking about episode 4. Yep. I think it was interesting at the beginning when we're dealing with Penny and her situation and that story, and we get to the photos, and Griff is ready to arrest, and the team was like, not yet. I was like, yet. I think now is an okay time.
Yeah.
I think you can. I think we can start. So that was fun. Deanna says Bruno and his AI therapist was not on my bingo card. We'll get to my soapbox about AI.
I will say I was a little not worried, but I was a little when we started, because I feel like we've done the revenge porn thing kind of a lot. I feel like we've done the predatory teacher a lot. I feel like we've done the pregnant teen thing a lot. So I was like, okay, these feel like ingredients that we've utilized a lot. And so I was glad that it went in a direction that wasn't just one of those things, because I was like, okay, this is a little boring.
I think you're totally right. You very much nailed it on the head, because we have seen all of those stories. So to then make it something new, especially new in that it is literally current, was very clever, well written. I will say, had the episode not been called Clickbait, it would have been a surprise that the photos were AI. But as soon as we were looking at the photos, I went, "Oh, this episode's going to be about AI."
Yeah, I was like, okay, maybe Photoshop, but the fact they actually went and did AI, I thought was interesting because that is still kind of a new thing. I also thought it was a bit of a tell in that they were like being so sympathetic to that teacher in a way that they just like never would unless he was actually innocent. They're like, he was honestly surprised. It's like, bro, you've had so many people act just like that, and who were guilty. So I was like, yeah, obviously he's fine because they're being like, he really didn't know. It's so clear. And I'm like, is it so clear though? Because you got a lot of liars. But
I do like when they ask Penny, when Olivia finally sits down with her to find out who the father of the baby was, and it was like, was it a teacher? She goes, "Oh my God, no, just no."
Yeah, no.
I did like that. I will say my MVP of this episode was Mrs. Cole, Bryce's mom.
Yeah.
Queen
Terrible,
right
though.
there. What?
Terrible. I was like,
Her?
girl, kinda. She was not.
She was the best. That's what he deserved.
No, I agree. I meant before that because he's like just the shittiest kid, and I'm like,
Yes.
you failed somewhere, babe.
Oh, for sure. But she's like, look, I obviously failed. He's on his own now.
Right. No, I agree with that. But like during the questioning, I was like, girl, be for real. This guy sucks.
Let's talk a little bit about Bruno versus Griff. Because I feel like we've had plenty of Griffs. That's all you're just gonna nod.
I don't care. It's fine. Like there's worse storylines, you know what I mean? Like I'm not so irritated by it. I just don't care about it so much either. I'll admit I haven't seen the 2 episodes we've skipped, so there probably was an introduction to him. So I feel like I'm missing too much context to make a real decision. I mean, he annoyed me, but of course he did.
That's true.
Look at him.
Without giving you any of the context you're missing, here's what I'm going to say about Griff. Griff is played by Corey Cott, right? And his name is Detective Jake Griffin. This is important because Corey Cott is a repeat offender. In fact, he was in Rape Interrupted, which is when we had the guy from ER make his cameo as Olivia's old partner, and he played his son. His name was Ellis Griffin. Friends,
okay.
Listen, writers, you can't name him Griffin again.
That's so weird, actually.
Not the same character.
Yeah, he looked familiar. What else has he been in?
Great question.
Whatever, I'll look it up. But I know that name and I know his face. Oh, he's on Riverdale. It is that Casey Cott. No, it's a different.
You're thinking of a different Casey.
Are there different Casey Cotts? Wait, what is this guy's name?
Corey Cott. I'm so sorry.
Corey Cott. I was like, wait, that's crazy. They don't look alike. Really?
No.
What else is he been in? I'm just gonna do this research on my own.
You do that while I give some actor shout outs.
Great.
Other repeat offenders from this episode, you may have noticed that the defense attorney was played by Saida Erica Ikolona, who was in an incredible episode way back when. Let me pull up what it was called because I cannot remember the name of the episode, but I was like, wait a second, I have interviewed her. She's a 5-time repeat offender. She played Nardali Eula in the episode where the girl's being stalked and raped by her neighbor and she witnesses it. But she's from the Congo, and so she's like afraid to get.
Oh yeah, wait, that episode's so good.
Right. So she was in that episode.
Yes. Okay. Yes, because I recognize her too. Ah, yes.
And the funniest part is I interviewed her for A League of Their Own.
Oh, she's a
I was like,
legend.
I feel like I've spoken to this woman.
Oh my God. Thank you
Other
for unlocking
actor,
that memory. Yes.
you're welcome. Other actor shout outs. So David Huxley, our teacher, was played by Matthias de la Flor. We have hold on. Oh gosh. Lucas Boone, our AI software engineer, was played by Matt Jones. Nina Cole, the mother, is Jillian Cool. Bryce Cole was played by John Martins. CJ, Cindy Jones, the ADA, who I love and would like so much more of, is Norma Culling. Penny Wilson was played by Vaughn Riley. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering anyone's names. Such good episode. So fun. Okay. Let's talk about the case, the court case, I guess. Because the two charges were disseminating indecent materials to minors and promoting sexual performance by a child. And he got guilty on both, but they were set aside by the judge, which I appreciate that, like, we have seen this happen before. So like that was cool that this is a thing that we've seen happen a few times. But here are my thoughts. I understand that this judge felt like his thought process was, I already know how I feel about this, but let's see how you play this out. And then let it all happen. And was like, wow, what a good use of our time. I'm not changing my mind about anything. That said, in these two charges, I think, especially with the jury finding them guilty, disseminating indecent materials is a fair charge that they should have absolutely kept. Because even if you're saying it wasn't his fault that the materials were made, he disseminated them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To use his paint analogy, that even if, where is it? I have it. Just because someone paints an offensive picture doesn't mean you arrest the paintbrush. Yes, but you could then arrest the store owner that sold the paintbrush, because that's what you are. You sold the paintbrushes.
Yeah. It's so tricky. It's so tricky. I feel like there was compelling arguments kind of made on both sides, which is why I also appreciate it. Like, listen, to be clear, I hate AI. I don't think it should be existing in this capacity in the slightest whatsoever. However, I think the question of culpability is a really interesting one. And I definitely think that the judge maybe, I mean, I don't know if this is how the law works. My sister's the one in law school. But if the judge was like, listen, you have to take these precautions or like do these certain things in order to keep having your like business the way it is, like you have to make it so if people put in these keywords, nothing's going to pop out. You know what I mean? Putting more safeguards, I think, are the thing that's what the route has to be at this point, is putting guardrails and like different precautionary sort of measures on these tools, because they're probably not going away, unfortunately, even though I really wish they would. So I think it's interesting, and I think they did a good job, but it would have been interesting if the judge was like, you have to do these three things then.
So yeah, I think not how our court system works, but also like we do have rules about that. So something that I found very interesting specifically in this story is he kept saying, I am, doing what I have to do. I have the restrictions. I have the safety precautions. I have all this stuff. And the thing is, something the audience may not know. If you go to, let's say, a website such as Cornhub and type in keywords, depending on what you type in, you will get a response that says what you're looking for is child porn. You cannot be looking for that. That said, that is a rule that is there for a purpose, right? And they have people whose job is to make sure that the materials, because sites like that, I believe people upload stuff to it. It's just a platform to like a YouTube where you upload it and people can watch it. And so there are people's jobs to look through to make sure that it's not what it's not supposed to be. So the fact that he's like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. No, you're not, obviously. And interestingly, I think, and I can't remember if this was a discussion on SVU or if it was, I assume it was since it's in my brain. There was an episode way back when where they had people who were adults but looked like children making porn, or they photoshopped it or something where it was adults to made look like children. And the I remember Stabler having issues with it because they didn't actually break any laws because it was adults. And I almost wish that's kind of where we went here, but we're not there yet in the discussion of AI, because what I think was the key of this episode is when the former co-founder, Saeed, said, AI swallows information, mixes it together, and spits something out. It can't think for itself. And I think that's honestly, like, when I get into arguments with people about AI, that is something I bring up a lot, is that it's not thinking, it's not making connections and decisions. It's just taking information, mixing it up, and spitting it out. So, like, something people don't realize, when you ask ChatGPT or whatever a question, it can't say I don't know. It'll make something up because it's not a brain. So I think that this episode felt the need to begin the conversation, and I would hope that as well our laws catch up, maybe we have discussions about the like further implications as we get, literally Said says, I kept the emails because I figured we'd all be here one day.
Yeah.
I also hate AI.
I hate it so much.
But I will say New Day, spelled Nude AI.
Hilarious.
Brilliant.
Classic SVU company name.
I mean, really better than usual.
Yeah, I love that.
This episode was written by Kevin Diebolt. I'm so sorry to mess up your name, but great episode. Great, well-written ridiculousness. What I wanted to ask you about was when they're doing the AI in the office to show what it can do. This is a conversation I had while watching this. The command of splatter glue on a face. Now, I understand we're watching television on NBC. So I'm not surprised by this phrase. I'm more surprised that would be the thought.
Oh, no. I actually think this makes sense because perhaps that is one of these safeguards they have in place. Like, those are some of the keywords you can't be putting. So that's a loophole. That's what I assumed, was that's a loophole to get the result that he wants to like showcase. But maybe even the AI isn't letting you put the actual word. That was my assumption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, they're probably finding a way around it by saying that, which does work like double, because obviously, yeah, you can't be saying certain words on network TV. Mm-hmm. But I actually kind of liked that. If that was the case, then I think that parameter is interesting because that is a workaround. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Totally. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about this Chief Tynan Rollins situation.
Mm-hmm.
So as you now know, Velasco left. We'll discuss that when we get to those episodes. We're down 2 detectives, or a detective and a sergeant. So Rollins
is still in the hospital?
He's at home recovering.
Got it. I kind of forgot he wasn't there. Sorry.
I mean, that's fair. We do have people disappear left and right with no one saying anything.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, honestly, the way that we're bringing Rollins in, because it's something we've talked about, is with Rollins joining, what does that mean? So I very much appreciate the way that they're doing that, in that it seems like Tynan is up to something and we don't know what. And as we know from the first episode that she is all about collecting favors, this very much feels like her way of later collecting a favor.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that Rollins is careful, because she doesn't want to be a pawn. I will say the information that you have about Tynan is pretty much what we know.
Okay.
So I don't feel like you're missing much context there. Theories on what she wants?
She wants her at the desk job. I don't know exactly why, but she wants her in that position bad. And I think that she's really going to try and find a way to get her there. And I don't know why. I don't know why exactly. Because it can't just be, oh, because she'd be good at it and make me look good. That's bullshit. We know there's another reason. Like, but I can't figure out what it is yet.
I agree. I think it's very weird. The Knights in the chat say Olivia needs to be playing chess while Tynan plays checkers.
Babe, Tynan's playing chess.
Totally.
Tynan is already playing chess. Olivia needs to play chess with her.
Yeah, there's something going on here. And I'm interested, right? I feel like previously we've had like McGrath doing stuff behind the scenes, and it was clear that he's just a jackass.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to know where this is going to go. Let's discuss some best lines, because this episode did have some good ones.
You did.
Shall I begin? Because you probably have more than me.
Yeah, I have like 6, but you go first.
Okay. So the first one is just the use of dickweeds.
Yeah.
Just the use of the word dickweeds. Classic. Bruno saying, I think the smartest and most brilliant thing he's ever said, don't have kids. Perfection. Doesn't matter what the question was. That's a great answer. And then the passcode being 6969.
Yeah, have that one as well. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
And then I just have, if we're really going to show the jury the full extent of how your tech works, why don't we take the judge's clothes off? Good one.
Well, yes. Honestly, they should have done that. Because maybe the judge would have felt a little different.
Yes, I agree. I think also because what they did show, like, to be fair, them claiming it was a Swiftie concert, like, no, it wasn't. That's all. And then an algorithm can't tell the difference between an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old. I would have chosen much bigger age gap, but still. Same. The algorithm cannot tell the difference because that's not how it works.
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
Just the whole bus ride at the beginning. I love you can't order wings to the museum, or you can't DoorDash wings to the museum, whatever. So funny and so classic high school. I found one thing that smells a little hinky. I've never heard the word hinky before, and I like it.
You've never heard the word hinky before?
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that word to me. And I literally was like, I don't know what that means. I had to look it up.
Hinky. First of all, I think Velma from Scooby-Doo uses hinky. And second of all, I know for a fact that Abby on NCIS used to use the word hinky all the time, but go on.
Cool. Didn't watch it, so that explains everything. I don't know what hinky is, but I like it, and I will be integrating it into my own vocabulary. We already talked about these next two, but bears repeating. Nude AI? Actually, it's pronounced New Day. Yeah, it's Jinkies. Exactly. It's not hinky.
I know that she says jinkies. That's her exclamation, but I do think that she said hinky, but go on.
Well, I didn't ever hear that. Just because someone paints an offensive picture doesn't mean you arrest the paintbrush. I mean, that's bars. Like, listen, as whatever, as shitty, like, he makes a point. I was like, wow, you got me there, actually. And finally, big swings don't always make it out of the park. Ooh, also bars.
Good ones. Good lines. Great episode. I have some fun show news, I guess, to share. One is there was a great article on TV Line that Richard Belzer. I'm gonna share this article. Hold on. Share screen. Find the window. Okay. Richard Belzer, when he was Munch back in the day, he had one condition to joining SVU, and it was that there had to be Dean Winters.
Stop.
So Cassidy existed as his partner because Richard Belzer made it so.
Wait, I kind of love that. That's cute.
Right? I thought that was a very fun story to share.
Aww.
Also, for those who missed it, we've been off because both of us have been traveling. I was at New York Comic Con and I got a chance to talk to Broadway star and star of Has Been Hotel, Alex Brightman. And I got to ask him specifically about being on SVU. He was Shy Gabe in Turn Me On, Take Me Private. The interview about Has Been Hotel is on this channel, the Fanversation YouTube channel, and fanversation.com. And if you want to hear him talk specifically about SVU, there's a link below to watch that because I couldn't not ask him. I will also say I did ask someone else from Has Been Hotel who was in an episode of SVU, and she had no memory of her episode.
Good. Okay, great.
So that interview doesn't exist, but I did ask. I would never miss an opportunity like that. I hope you all know that.
I have show news.
Oh, go on.
Mariska Hargitay is going to be on Amy Poehler's podcast this week, tomorrow.
Oh.
That's going to be a good interview, I think. So
amazing.
Amy Poehler's podcast is pretty good. It's called Good Hang. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that conversation.
That's really fun. I hope you report back what you learn.
I will.
Very cool. It is time for shower thoughts.
Oh, yes.
For our friends who listen in the shower, I want to tell you, I was very close to just letting this be my anti-AI soapbox. And you know what? I still think I might. Friends, I know that you seem to think, not you personally, the royal you, that AI solves a lot of problems and makes life easier and does things for you. And the truth is, it steals. Right? It is literal theft. It cannot create on its own. It has to take other people's work, other people's words and art and skill and voice and face and use that to create something else. So it is absolutely theft. Also, as I said earlier, it cannot tell you it doesn't know. It lies. And sometimes I've had people go, when I ask it something and it gives me an answer and then I respond, is that true? It will then tell me no. So it knows that it lies. Also, it's draining resources. That's the other big thing. If none of these other things matter to you, if art theft doesn't matter to you, if the fact that it lies and is not a search engine doesn't matter to you, maybe the fact that it's actively killing the planet you live on, that is already dying and now is just dying faster, maybe that will affect you. Because remember at the beginning of pandemic when lockdown happened and all of a sudden people were like, wow, the air is cleaner because we're not driving. Wow, animals are coming out and able to just roam and be happy and live on the planet. Remember how great that was? We've set all of that back. All of it. Not just back. Further worse. Our planet is dying. If you remember last January when LA was on fire, all of it was on fire. We're just going to keep doing that. And if you think I'm exaggerating, there was an article about Texas asking people to shower less to conserve water because they needed it for the AI servers. So just something to consider. Maybe do a little research into the problems with AI, the challenges, because it's all bad. Like, as much as it's fun, or you can do things that you don't have the skill set for. For example, if you can't draw, now you can. If you can't paint, now you can. If you can't write, now you can.
No, you can't, because you didn't do anything.
Right.
I'm sorry.
But put all that aside.
Doing it. Yeah.
Either learn the skill set or hire someone who has that skill set.
Yeah.
So I guess my would you rather is, would you rather that AI makes you slightly stupider every time you use it, or that it always lies to you? Fun fact, both of those are what it does.
I'm going to choose the secret third option and not use AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun. Also, fun fact, when you Google stuff, if you put -AI, like the little dash AI, it stops giving you this bullshit AI garbage that it comes up with.
Should do anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to do that every time. I forget, is the honest truth. Let me turn it off permanently. Pisses me off.
Great. That's that. Taylor, what did you learn?
What hinky means.
Oh, what does hinky mean?
Dishonest or suspect. Unreliable.
Nice.
And that was not the AI definition. That was Merriam-Webster's. Sorry, Oxford. It was Oxford.
All right.
We'll take it.
I learned that Corey Cott was
not Casey Cott.
Not Casey Cott. No, that I knew. So I learned Corey Cott was in a previous episode, also named Griffin.
Crazy.
That was what I learned. Wild. All right. I believe, honestly, I know that there's probably so much more we could talk about this. Doreen wants us to remember that Dickweed and Cool Your Jets are throwbacks. And I agree. This has been great writing. I know that we are 2 episodes behind, all mixed up. We will do those 2 episodes. I don't know when. We'll let you know. So make sure that you have subscribed where you are enjoying us now, because that way you will know when we do those episodes. I tell you now, I have seen them because unlike Taylor, I'm impatient and can't not watch it.
I had a week. Let me just break down why I couldn't do the other week. I had 18 episodes of TV to watch to prep for interviews in 3 days. And I was like, I don't think I can fit SVU in here, I fear.
That's fair. You are very busy. I understand that. There was no shame. I was just saying that I'm impatient.
I just wanted you to know I like the show too. I just wasn't sleeping those 3 days, and that's why we didn't do the episode. And I'm sorry, but I'll plug what I did do at the end of this. You can watch those, and hopefully it makes up for the absence.
All right, that's fair. I just wanted to say that we will get to those because they are very, very good. Don't you worry. Also, if they were bad, we absolutely would get to those as well. I know that I've made lots of promises, but I have met some people who have been involved with SVU who would be happy to come talk to us. So we will be having guests this season, and maybe some familiar faces will return. Taylor, until whenever we do the next episode, whatever episode that may be, what have you been up to? Where are you at on the internet?
Well, you can find me on social media, still at Twitter, at alphabet_Ann, also on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. I covered The Diplomat, which is so good. If you love a political thriller vibe with some very dark humor that is a little bit SVU-esque sometimes. go watch that show and then read my interviews with the cast of that. And also covering The Last Frontier, which is very SVU-esque in a way. It's like a crime drama in Alaska. And so those interviews will be rolling out as the season goes on. But Jason Clark, there's an interview up with him. That was very fun. So follow me on social, read my other stuff. Sorry that I delayed us.
This was not wholly her fault. I was at NYCC, New York Comic Con. Interviews from that is available currently on Fanversation, including NCIS Tony and Ziva and Has Been Hotel. I am on Instagram at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. If you want to see my romance book stuff, that is also on Fanversation and at Good Little Library Mouse on Instagram. Any other thoughts? Anything else I need to announce or say? No? All right.
Man.
Yeah.
Don't use it. Stop using it.
Please stop using AI. There are other services. If there's something that you need to do that you don't know how to do without AI, DM me and I will find you a tool to do it.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah. Or a person to hire to do it. That's also an option. All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.